May shifts into high gear on ESPN, starting with the Indy 500 time trials, where race cars exceed 200 miles an hour. Major League Baseball unleashes its blazing speed 4 nights a week, plus baseball tonight every night. Top tennis players try to control the tempo at the French Open, and these drivers are also looking for accuracy, not speed. But it's all out down the stretch with Kentucky Derby and Preakness Stakes specials. It's fast, it's live, in May on ESPN.
This is ESPN, the Total Sports Network.
Nothing beats number one. Nothing beats the king of beers. Nothing beats clean, crisp, and cold. This is the best, and we got it right here. Yeah. Nothing beats a Bud, yeah, nothing beats a Bud, yeah, nothing beats a Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud.
Just a fraction of what we spend dining out could help pick up the tab for a good cause. A small part of what we spend on sports could help keep our community in shape. Or some of our time on the phone could help answer society's problems. Won't you get involved? By giving 5% of your income and volunteering 5 hours per week, you can really help your community. This year, make it your goal to give 5. What you get back is immeasurable.
Nothing beats it.
Nothing beats it.
Nothing beats it.
The one and only.
Nothing beats it.
The clean, the crisp, the cold. The king of beers.
Nothing beats a Bud. Nothing beats the king of beers. Nothing beats a Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud.
Kitchen has the power to save the planet. By recycling the glass bottles and cans we throw away each year, we could save enough energy to light up New York City. I'm Joanne Woodward. Please join me by pledging to conserve, recycle, and to buy biodegradable. We continue to use our resources like there's no tomorrow. There won't be.
What do you think? Here's a better idea.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the Bermuda Triangle.
No wonder nobody ever comes back.
Every year, thousands of babies die from choking, suffocating, or other breathing emergencies. Just imagine how many of them could be saved if only they came with instructions. Please learn American Red Cross Infant and Child CPR. American Red Cross. We help you help others.
What kind of paint was that?
Watercolor.
Nothing beats a Bud.
ESPN International presents the Spanish Soccer League. Follow all the excitement and action of your favorite soccer teams Sunday on ESPN International. Each week you'll see in-depth coverage of a major match, followed by highlights from other games throughout the Spanish Soccer League. Wrap up your soccer weekend with Spanish soccer, only on ESPN International.
Man, what a day. I can sure use a vacation. Yeah, I'd like to get right here.
Ice cold, Bud.
Hey, maybe tomorrow we should bring the boss. Nah.
I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade.
Some kids take to swimming like a fish to water, and some don't. In fact, any child can drown in just 2 inches of water. Make the water safe for your child with the Red Cross Water Safety Program.
Under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade.
Nothing beats a winning team, pushing hard, reaching for the dream. Nothing beats clean, crisp and cold. Got the king of beers, you're on a roll. Nothing beats a Bud, Budweiser. Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud, nothing beats a Bud.
The animals in the forest. If they could talk, what would they say? They might say, be careful with fire in the forest. Just like Smokey says, only you can prevent forest fires.
Nothing beats a winning team, pushing hard, reaching for the dream. Nothing beats clean, crisp and cold. Got the king of beers, you're on a roll. Nothing beats a Bud, Budweiser. Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud, nothing beats a Bud.
An enormous amount of the Earth's resources are consumed at businesses. We throw away enough office paper yearly to build a wall 12 feet high, stretching from New York to Los Angeles. Hi, I'm Nancy Lopez, helping ESPN remind you to set up a recycling program in your office. Not only will you be helping save our natural resources, you could also save your company some money. Remember, you can make a world of difference.
This is never gonna work. Hey, relax. Anybody can send them roses.
Excuse me, we didn't order these. Ian, what's this?
Hi.
Did they really expect us to call them?
I'm telling you. Hello.
Nothing beats a Bud.
Hi, I'm Jerry McInnes, and it occurs to me that we all have the responsibility of taking care of our environment. Let's get together and work on it. You can make a world of difference.
Nas suas próximas férias, leve o seu cartão Visa. Use o seu Visa. Todos os caminhos conduzem à Visa.
We fill them with silver. We crown them with gold. And we brush them with Interplaque. Because nothing works better. Nothing. In fact, its rotating bristles clean your mouth nearly plaque-free every time you brush. Ask your dentist about Interplaque from Bausch & Lomb. Because if your teeth are precious to you, there's no better way to protect them.
The way we are conducting business these days is music to our customers' ears. Each of our division heads is a virtuoso in his field. Their experience and expertise give Republic Bank of Miami one of the strongest management teams of any financial institution in the state. Under the direction of President Oscar Bustillo. Whatever your banking needs, come see us at Republic Bank of Miami. We'll make beautiful music together.
Whether it's your first PGA win, your first Cadillac Senior PGA Tour trophy, or another LPGA title for the record books, the feeling is still the same. And ESPN International brings you that winning feeling all season long. From top LPGA and PGA Tour golfers to that ever-growing Cadillac Senior PGA Tour, golf's winning feeling only on ESPN International.
The battle for the IndyCar World Championship began in April. All eyes focus on the PPG Cup, the symbol of the IndyCar World Series champion. The quest for the PPG IndyCar World Championship continues at the Milwaukee Mile in the Miller Genuine Draft 200. Round number 4 of the PPG IndyCar World Series for the IndyCars. Now, just a few moments ago, those gray clouds over the speedway began to drizzle just a little bit. And as a result, a lot of the umbrellas came out, but you can see that the drivers are at their cars. There's Arie Luyendyk, the Indy winner. Umbrella overhead, but he's ready to go. Even has his earphones plugged in. There's Rick Mears. He is the pole sitter here today, and he is ready to go racing. Hello and welcome to the Milwaukee Mile. I'm Paul Page. Now, we're not giving up on this one. It's just a very, very light rain that has passed through the area, and they say there is a very, very good chance that we're going to get the race in. So we're going to stick with it. The drivers are certainly right there and anticipating the start of the Milwaukee 200. Now, Arie Luyendyk is the Indy champion, and he has had a very, very busy week, especially when you consider that they had not really planned an Indianapolis 500-mile win. Here's a report. Sam Posey.
When Arie Luyendyk won Indy last week, it was not only his first Indy win, it was his first win ever in any IndyCar race.
The past week has been somewhat, for me, like I'm living in a dream. And on the other side, it's been really exciting.
Well, 7 days ago, he was in victory lane, but today he's starting 15th on the grid. This has not been your week at Milwaukee, Arie. What's wrong with the car?
Well, sometimes you roll the car off the trailer and it's close, and sometimes it's very far away, and it's more than far away when we rolled it off on Friday. So we've been really struggling this weekend, and it's really an anti-climax to last week, but we got to keep trying.
Well, you can hear the jet dryers going on behind us as they continue to dry out the little bit of precipitation here on the racetrack. You have to cover your ears just a bit. One of the things we wanted to tell you about, Paul, is you look at Arie's wife, Mika. You see these little earrings here? Well, those are earrings that are manufactured by Teresa Fittipaldi. Seems Teresa wore them last year, and Emerson won the Indianapolis 500. Mika bought these before the Indianapolis 500, and you wore them to victory lane.
I did. Well, Arie bought them for me for Mother's Day. He's not my mother, but he bought them.
How much you want to bet the entire 33-car starting field at Indianapolis, their wives and girlfriends have those earrings next year?
Teresa Fittipaldi may do a land office business. There is Danny Sullivan. You can see he has his two-way communications, earphones already in. His hood goes on, and the drivers are getting ready to climb in. So as we are set to go racing here at the Milwaukee Mile, let's take a look at this 21-car starting field. On the pole, Rick Mears, his 5th consecutive pole on a 1-mile oval. Outside is Danny Sullivan, who finished 2nd here in his championship season of 1988. The 2nd row, Michael Andretti, a back-to-back winner here in 86 and 87. His father is outside. He has 4 victories and over 4,500 miles to his credit on this historic course. Inside row 3 is Bobby Rahal, the runner-up here in 82 and 87. And Emerson Fittipaldi, only 1 of his 11 victories have come on 1-mile ovals. The 4th row, Scott Brayton, a steady drive last week, earned him a 7th finishing position at Indy. And Teo Fabi, who finished 3rd in this event 1 year ago. Al Unser Jr. is still looking for his first win on an oval. Raul Boesel notched an impressive 4th place finish in his last 2 appearances here. The 6th row on the inside, John Andretti, the 2nd member of the Porsche team, making his 2nd start at Milwaukee. And A.J. Foyt, who made his 2nd career IndyCar start here in 1957 and won $127. Scott Goodyear making his first start here. And Eddie Cheever has 2 top 10 finishes in 3 starts this year. The 8th row, Arie Luyendyk, earned $1.1 million in last week's Indianapolis 500. And Jeff Andretti, 4th member of the famous Andretti racing family, making his first IndyCar start. The 9th row, Pancho Carter. He's making his 17th start here at Milwaukee. And Dean Hall, who drew a great deal of attention with his smooth performance at Indianapolis. The 10th row, Tony Bettenhausen. His first start at Milwaukee netted him 9th place in 1979. And Randy Lewis, a veteran driver, making only his 4th start on the Milwaukee Mile. And Roberto Guerrero, starting at the rear after a pair of crashes yesterday. And the command just given to all of the drivers to climb in their cars. Danny Sullivan already there. He anticipated that because it got nice and bright here over the main straightaway. Now, let's go to the straightaway once again, and here is Jack Arute.
And Paul, I'm with Ron Strain, who's the Vice President of Finance for the Miller Brewing Company, for those great familiar words. Mr. Strain?
Gentlemen, start your engines.
So they're ready. 21 Indy cars. Unlike last week, the rows will be of 2. A smaller, a shorter, a tighter course. They call it a bull ring on board. Live shot from Al Unser Jr. IndyCar racing right now. The chassis, well, a Lola won last week. But again, most of the experts really feel that it's the Penske chassis that sit on the front row here that are still presenting the greatest challenge. It's casual as he glances about, noting these grandstands here. And the points right now, he, of course, is the point leader with 48. But this is a nice, tight fight. 20 points available for winning this race. Rick Mears has already earned 1 for sitting on the pole. Also a point available for the fastest, for the leading the most laps in a race. Rick Mears working his way around. Let's go to Gary Gerould in the Penske pit.
We're looking at the telemetry where Peter Gibbons and Paul Rochette will keep track of the performance of Rick Mears' car throughout the day today. The acknowledged master of the short oval. He won at Phoenix this year. He's won the last 2 years in Milwaukee. Remember, Paul, he won his first ever IndyCar race right here on this track 12 years ago, 1978. Paul?
Well, that bodes well. On that Gallus-Craco team has added a whole new dimension to how they operate, and certainly has been a challenge to Al. Winnings this year, Arie Luyendyk, of course, picked up $1.1 million of that for winning the Indianapolis 500 last week. The Indy Purse really giving a boost to the earnings so far this year. Mario and Michael Andretti, they will start in the second row, and Gary Gerould is in the Newman Haas pits.
This is able to be in the race, 4 members of one family in a IndyCar race, if Jeff Andretti can start.
And as I watch him working on that car, Sam, it didn't seem to me like they were too much of a hurry, so it must be terminal.
Jeff Andretti, of course, Michael Andretti's brother, son of Mario, been very successful in other forms of racing. and now with his dad's help is hoping for an opportunity to do well in the Indy cars. You see still some drops of rain there, but the pace car is out in front of the field.
And Paul, a little bit of rain really won't hurt anything. As long as the track doesn't actually get wet, the driver's going to be all right.
Let's go down to the pit area. Jack Arute is in Jeff's pit. Make sure, absolutely sure, in fact, that this is a dry race course when the green flag comes out. But as the pace car headed into the turn there, you saw the lights go out, which tells the pole sitter Rick Mears that they are ready for a green flag and they are ready to start. So Mears brings the field off of the fourth turn. The crowd, they all come to their feet. And we are ready to go on the Milwaukee Mile as Nick Bernaro gives it the green flag. And they bunch up heading down to the first turn, with Sullivan moving to the outside and picking up the lead from his teammate Mears. And Mears seems to slow down just a bit as they come onto the backstretch. Andretti comes up, moves into second place. That's Mario making a move now down for the inside.
Well, you can bet you Rick Mears didn't have his boost up just right, Paul, because he didn't take off with the rest of the cars at all. In fact, he went backward bad.
Boy, look at this as Mario Andretti comes around. Danny Sullivan picks up the lead. His son Michael moves into third place, chasing Sullivan now. Good move for Mario on the start.
Now, Mario's got to really know his car's sticking good to take on the first lap and gain as much as he gained, going like he's already going.
So the Haviland Kmart car moves out in front. Al Unser Jr. moved from 9th to 5th on that first lap on their helmet. When you do, does that worry you?
Well, it does. What they're worried about is a big shower that I started to mention earlier that would come down and they wouldn't have time to see it. But ironically, that probably won't happen because the clouds today are just dribbling it down. And it's not hurting their speeds. That's for certain sure.
The fight continues between Michael Andretti and Bobby Rahal for third.
We talked about the tradition here. It used to be a dirt track until the mid-50s when it was paved. It's gotten very rough over the last few years, and you see them all struggling with those bumps.
The fight continues. The rain continues to hold off, and we're running on the Milwaukee Mile. Al Unser Jr. is out in front, looking for his first oval victory in the Indy cars here at the Miller Genuine Draft 200. Right now, little Al is leading by 4.2 seconds over Mario Andretti. We'll be right back.
Before this, you never heard of cold filtered. Before this, you never heard of genuine draft taste in a bottle. Now hear this. Get out of the old, get into the cold.
Cold filter taste what it's all about. Never heat pasteurized, so the rich, smooth taste don't cook out. For those who discover its real draft taste, the world can be a very cool place.
Get out of the old, get into the cold. Miller Genuine Draft.
There's a motor oil that talks about quality. Always has, always will. Well, Valvoline makes the highest quality motor oil recommended by any automobile manufacturer. Oh yeah, unlike the competition, Valvoline also makes the motor oil used by 7 out of 10 Indy 500 crew chiefs. That's 7 out of 10 Indy crew chiefs over the last 10 years. People who know, use Valvoline.
The same battery that has started more Indy 500 winners than any other battery also starts millions of cars all over America every day. Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
I didn't know who to trust, especially with a foreign car.
Midas has the right muffler for almost every foreign car and guarantees them for as long as you own that car. No appointment needed.
So I went to number 1.
Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
George Bush, Mikhail Gorbachev, another great step in the process toward a peaceful world. Witness the Washington Summit on ABC News beginning Wednesday.
We're back on the Milwaukee Mile. 200 miles to be raced here. The leader is Al Unser Jr. He's averaging just over 141 miles an hour each lap. And just a few seconds ago, he worked his way past Ari Leyendyk, who's running in 12th place. Shelley Unser watches from the scoring stand. The skies may be gray overhead as we take a look at the fight for second between Mario Andretti and Michael Andretti. A family feud going on here. While the skies are gray, the air is heavy and moist, and these engines love it. 161 cubic inches, turbocharged, developing nearly 800 horsepower. They love this kind of air.
They're definitely going to make more horsepower because of that, Paul. It's very much like you say. But they're also, the tires are going to like it. The pavement is cold, or it's nice and cool, it's crisp, and it's clean.
A.J. Foyt and Danny Sullivan battle with one another for 7th place as Foyt comes down inside Danny. And Foyt's going to try him.
A.J. was 3rd fastest in the warm-up this morning, so he is a real threat. This is not a fluke. And yesterday, when A.J. was practicing in front of Mario, he got here.
And look at him go ahead. A.J. Foyt moves up.
Well, right in here yesterday, A.J. had a big slide, and he corrected. Here's a man 55 years old who had the reflexes to bring that slide back under control. Mario drove alongside him, gave him a big thumbs up, and they laughed about it afterwards.
Pointed Mario Andretti, overheating with the radiator. What causes a problem like that, Mario?
Well, a bolt just pierced the radiator. Obviously, it came... it was thrown from somebody's wheel. It must have been laying out on the track, so...
6.5 minutes and the crew replaces it. You go back out. We had thought maybe to chase points. Was there a further problem then?
There was, for some reason or other, the oil temperature was way up. The engine just was sounding kind of funny, so I just didn't want to destroy it, and there's no point continuing.
So now Paulie has to become a cheerleader as Michael battles with Al Unser for the lead. Thank you, Mario.
Well, no problem there because Mario Andretti is Michael's best cheerleader. Take a look at how Michael threads his way to the inside while little Al moves to the outside and continues his chase for the lead here in the Miller Genuine Draft 200. We'll be back with more from Milwaukee after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Monday.
So? No, it belongs to my family.
An old masterpiece.
You say the Nazis stole it?
Yes.
Is the key to a new master race.
Ah!
MacGyver. Then he's got a second shot at love at first sight.
I'm not going.
Julie Christie, Warren Beatty, Heaven Can Wait. Monday.
Hi, I'm Jim Examus, and I'm out for your business. And here's proof positive. I just purchased 12 1990 Lincoln Town Cars. All have low miles, dual power seats, anti-lock brakes, dual airbags, leather interior, and more. New, these cars listed for over $30,000. You can purchase one of these special purchase Lincolns for only $23,900. That's right, 1990 Lincoln Town Cars for only $23,900. That's only at Jim Examus Ford Lincoln Mercury in Lincoln, Illinois.
At Methodist, the people who are heart patients and their families are treated with state-of-the-heart care. The billboard that is currently up is one of the most effective things that we've done. And this is a colorful board. It captures the essence and the spirit of our heart program, and I've never heard so many positive comments. We like billboards, and we think our consumers like billboards. We think it's a good investment.
Three-wheel cart and seat lift chair now on sale. Health call 676-6300.
This is how a Ferrari Testarossa looks on the road. And this is how a Ferrari Testarossa looks to the road, where it ultimately responds through the contact patch of its Goodyear Eagle tires. The exclusive tires, chosen for every Testarossa sold in America. Goodyear Eagles. They're another reason we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Rusty's back in town. The Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. You'd better hold on.
A Motorcraft spark plug has to fire 500 times a minute. Over its life, that's a spark 5 miles long. Shouldn't you install that peace of mind? Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Santa Fe. For centuries, men have been mysteriously drawn to it. Santa Fe cologne for men. Discover the mystery of its attraction.
Your wood trim is going. Your paint is why. Because most premium paints aren't formulated to stop moisture damage. And before you know it, your wood trim is gone. You need Rust-Oleum Wood Saver Trim Paint. Formulated with Teflon and other ingredients, it forms a superior barrier to resist moisture. So don't wait. Replace your paint, or you could replace your wood.
We're back at the Milwaukee Mile under yellow. Arie Luyendyk, the cause for the yellow. The safety crew just got him started. They gave him a push, and he's now under power. He'll head into the pits, but the yellow flag flies for this spin by Arie Luyendyk, and he's got some damage to that car. Here is the situation. Just a fast spin up, brushed the wall, came to a stop in the middle of the track. Everybody that was running with Arie back about 12th place was able to get past. Now, when the yellow came out, everybody dived into the pits. This was just before the yellow, and that is Eddie Cheever in the target car, number 15 to the outside, as he chops Michael off going into the corner. As they come off of the corner, Michael Andretti speaks to Cheever. Well, Cheever lives in Rome for a long time, and Michael's Italian. I'm sure they understood. Luyendyk is into the pits, and they work on the left front wing, which is what brushed the wall.
Well, that wasn't a very bad wreck. Awfully close to the wall, bent the wing a little bit. Boy, that's almost a miss, Paul.
What a terribly frustrating day to come from the Indianapolis 500 win to struggle with your race car to 15th qualifying position, move up into 12th place, and then brush the wall. As Michael Andretti comes around again to complete 101 laps, it will be an official race should weather intervene, but it doesn't appear that that's going to happen. The sky is heavy, but the weather continues to hold off, and we have a very, very fast race going here. We'll be back.
When it comes to developing cars that run on cleaner burning alternative fuels, no one has a more accelerated program than Chevy. The methanol-powered Chevy Indy V8. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
There's a big difference between the BMW M3 and the Chevy Beretta GTZ. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Lots of motor oils claim to be tough. Quaker State puts it in writing. Ask your participating service center about Quaker State's tough lubrication guarantee. Only a tough motor oil can make a guarantee this tough. Quaker State is one tough motor oil.
You could use Armor All Protectant and keep your car in the garage. Or you could just keep your car in the garage. Of course, there are alternatives, but only Armor All works like Armor All.
The airline that brings you 10 countries across Asia and the Pacific now bridges the Atlantic to Europe with service to Frankfurt and Paris soon to follow. Come fly the airline that spans more than half the world. United. Come fly the friendly skies.
His name is Big Boy Caprice.
There was one Napoleon, one Washington, one me.
He's a big-time gangster out to get control.
I got the gun.
Get revenge.
Not the bad, Big Boy, not the bad.
Get the girl.
Everything he owned, I own.
And there's only one man who can stop him.
Who said that? Dick Tracy, calling Dick Tracy.
Now Big Boy is getting a taste of the law.
I am the law.
From the world's greatest detective.
You're under arrest.
Warren Beatty is Dick Tracy, rated PG. Starts Friday, June 15th.
Saturday, Bowling's High Rollers pair up in Las Vegas for the Showboat PBA Doubles Classic. Then on ABC's Wide World of Sports, it's two exciting championship ring matchups. First, the WBC featherweight crown is on the line as #1 contender Marcos Villasana takes on undefeated Paul Hopkinson live. Plus coverage of the Pernell Whitaker-Azuma Nelson battle and the World Weightlifting Championships. It's all Saturday on ABC Sports.
Handling good with an older car. Not much horsepower.
And the running order after 100 laps as we look down through the entire field. Michael Andretti is still our leader. And Rick Mears is still trying to work his way up through the field. Luyendyk, of course, will continue to fall down through these standings as cars lay down more laps. Luyendyk already out of the race. Here's Gary Gerald.
Well, very unusual happening just a moment ago. The big fuel truck rolled up, a hose went over, and in the Andretti tank for Michael Andretti, they got a little bit more fuel. You hardly ever see that happen during a race, but remember those extra laps they ran behind the pace cars at the start because of the wet track conditions. They're now compensating. They're going down and hitting every fuel tank down along the line, making sure that everybody will have the same amount, and it could be very precious when you get down to those last few laps, because believe it or not, there are fuel concerns here at Milwaukee.
Well, you know, that's the first time that they've done that, to my memory, and I think that's a great idea. In the past, they would simply go to green flag, even though they were under yellow, and say, well, these laps are counting. This is going to help out a lot.
Well, there's many times that fans just don't understand why we have a fuel economy run sometimes, or why fuel is such a big factor, because the cars are, in fact, using methanol alcohol, not gasoline. It has nothing to do with petroleum at all.
So Bobby Rahal in the SDP Craco machine runs in 4th place, being chased by Emerson Fittipaldi. Michael Andretti leads. Allenzer Jr. is 2nd. Rick Mears is 3rd. We'll be right back.
Sports announcer Jim Rooker holds the record for the longest walk in baseball history.
We were ahead 10-zip, and I said on air, if we blow this one, I'll walk home.
They blew it. Home was Pittsburgh, 300 miles away.
I was taught to keep my word. Wish I'd been taught to keep my mouth shut.
To Jim Rooker, whose walk raised thousands for charity, we offer our best. Smooth, never bitter Miller beer.
Could have been worse. Could have been playing in California.
There's a motor oil that talks about world-class protection. Catchy phrase, but Valvoline is recommended by name in the owner's manuals of these world-class cars. The other motor oil is not. Whatever you drive, Valvoline makes the highest quality motor oil recommended by any car manufacturer. Around the world, people who know use Valvoline.
How fast and portable are Wagner's new cordless power painting systems? Just watch. The new cordless power roller automatically pumps paint to cover quickly and easily, with no runs or drips. The new cordless power brush is perfect for trimming any job, big or small. There's no better way to finish a job with flying colors. Anywhere. Cordless power painting from Wagner. Not just a whole lot faster, a whole lot better.
And Friday? You're kidding. We're getting company from Russia.
Order me some Russian flags, 1,500. I'll make it 2,500.
And we're bringing into Hamilton on this route.
Трудно переоценить значение того события, которое...
Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Miller.
I just knew they'd call.
It's strange. I can't pick up anything.
Still, huh?
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized, Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
2, 3. Davey Allison believes. Mario and Michael Andretti believe. Don Prudhomme believes. You get out of a car what you put into it. Avalon Superior Grade.
Yeah. This is it. Your best chance of the year to save on all Goodyear Eagles, the best-selling line of performance tires in the world. You can save 20% on the all-season Eagle GT Plus 4. And that's not your only choice, because all Eagles are on sale. But only until June 2nd at participating Goodyear retailers. That's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
We're trying a variation on my classic recipe.
Tuesday.
Beef chili, vegetarian style.
It's a gourmet meal. Roseanne. And
all the time I was married to Beth, I was never able to share. Of course, the court's put an end to that.
It's Coates.
We're back on the Milwaukee Mile at Wisconsin State Fair Park. I'm Paul Page with Bobby Unser, Sam Posey, Jack Arute, and Gary Gerald. Michael Andretti, you're right on board with him right now. He is the leader of the race with 129 miles of the 200-mile scheduled distance completed. He's being chased by Al Unser Jr. Now, as we watch Michael come through here, there he comes. Little Al sits back. He just came off of the turn as well and is set up behind Danny Sullivan. Oh, a couple cars in between Little Al and Michael, but Little Al is closing down, and Bobby Unser, they're running a whale of a clip.
They really are, Paul. Because of the threat of rain, we know that they started off the race with a blistering pace. But as the race has gone on now, we haven't had the rain they might expect, and they still have to keep a blistering pace because they started out that way. And they're getting their tires, at least the surface temperature on their tires have to be very high because their speeds are absolutely qualifying speeds right now.
Maybe en route to a third.
Michael Andretti works past Tony Bettenhausen. Onto the home stretch again. Many of the crews are already taking a look at a pit stop. Here is Little Al's pit. As you can see, they are perched on the wall, ready to clamber over it as Al Unser Jr. heads down into the pit area, begins to bring the car to a stop. The Gallus team waits for him. On the course, while this is happening, Michael Andretti is able to put some distance. The Gallus team very carefully working with that car.
Now remember, Paul, during the green flag, he's probably going to lose a lap, but he'll get that right back. That was a very good pit stop, 13 seconds. Now, the guy that makes the fast pit stop now is going to have the edge towards our finish here.
So Al Unser Jr. completes his last stop of this race, if all goes according to plan, and moves back up to speed. We keep our eyes on Michael Andretti now as he rolls down on the pit road. This is the leader of the race making their stop. He threads his way in behind Pancho Carter, who heads out and rolls in for a stop.
And also keep in mind, this is the last pit stop of the race too, Paul.
Take a look at the outfits of his crewmen. Michael Andretti's crewman, designed by designer Alexander Julian. Very curious mixture of colors there. Exciting. So much wheel spin, Paul.
Michael Andretti rolls out. Al Unser Jr. went past on the main stretch as he did it. But remember, Little Al fell well behind when he made his stop as well. So Michael drops the clutch just as hard as he can and hammers the throttle and moves back into the fight. Bobby Rahal stops. Here's Jack Arute.
And Paul, it's been a series of miscues. First, the car fell down on the jack while the rear tires were off. Then he couldn't get the clutch back in gear, and he had a very, very long stop. And on top of that, they only had 25 gallons of fuel to go in, and they didn't get it all in. Meanwhile, his teammate, Al Unser Jr., all 25 remaining gallons in the tank are now on board the Valvoline Lola.
Mears and Fittipaldi are both Penske cars who conceivably are operating a little different strategically today.
Well, today, Sam, the race has obviously been Lola first. Two Lolas working in first and second, and then two Penskes in third and fourth. Roger Penske's not going to like that. But more importantly than anything, it's going to come down to who has planned their race the best with their fuel.
The other thing, too, about the two Penske cars, Mears in third, Fittipaldi.
They're currently running in fifth gear. They're trying to juggle here to get every bit of efficiency they can so that they're ensured of being able to go the distance. Paul?
Penske's three drivers have won the last 6-mile races like this. So, you know, they obviously bring a kind of confidence into this race that perhaps the other teams don't have.
Well, the word is going out to all of the leaders of this race now. Be very, very careful about your fuel because you're very, very close to the end of the run and very close to an empty fuel tank. So it will be a fight with fuel as well as on the race course with just 30 miles to go.
And it's a team management again. In other words, the guys are the mechanics telling the drivers, hey, you don't have enough to make it. Put it in the next top gear. Cut down 1 or 2 inches of boost.
Well, Michael Andretti runs in front. Al Unser Jr. about 17 seconds back. Then Rick Mears, Emerson Fittipaldi, and Bobby Rahal. We'll be right back.
You know, I'm no meteorologist, but lately I've noticed a definite warming trend. Wherever you look, people are engaged in this thermodynamic free-for-all, doing that spring party thing.
cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Just what you need to do that spring party thing. Be on the lookout for more party details wherever you buy Miller Genuine Draft.
Just keep the snow off the suit, okay, Cha-Cha? Thank you.
Have you looked at the prices of new cars lately? Mobile One. Isn't your car worth the extra protection?
Skydiver Eddie Turner will never forget October 16th.
We were jumping at 12,000 feet. Frank collided with another diver and was knocked out cold.
Like a missile, Turner shot toward his friend.
All I could think about was just getting a hold of that ripcord.
Which he did, just 10 seconds before impact.
Yeah, you'd done it for me.
To everyday heroes everywhere, we offer our best. Smooth, never bitter, Miller Beer.
I told Frank, next time you fall, make sure it's for a tall blonde.
You guys aren't supposed to be in here.
Hey, no problem, Honorable Dojo guy.
But this is an import car.
We're the auto lights, guaranteed in any language. Sayonara.
If you want to keep repair costs down, remember, Fram oil filters protect your engine better because they stop more dirt the first time through than any other filter. Fram, you can pay a little now or a lot later.
Scratch the door of a full-size Chevy half-ton pickup? Scratch a full-sized Ford half-ton. Which gives you better rust protection? This environmental chamber packs the results of 2 years of weather into just 25 days. Both trucks have two-side galvanized steel, but Chevy has more. So all you have to do is scratch the surface to see. Nobody's winning like
The heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet.
If you thought you had to give up comfort to get a close shave, Norelco says, think again. Their revolutionary shaving system shaves skin close in a way that's incredibly comfortable. As the hair enters the chamber, the patented lift and cut system lifts each hair and holds it a split second before a blade cuts it, so it's possible to shave skin close without the blades even touching the skin. The lift and cut shaving system from Norelco. We made close comfortable.
Of all the vehicles you could have purchased 10 years ago, there is one that, if you had purchased it and given it normal maintenance, you could still trade in today for half the original sticker price, and even had something to mow the lawn with. The John Deere lawn tractor. Nothing runs or lasts like a Deere.
The same battery that has started more Indy 500 winners than any other battery also starts millions of cars all over America every day. Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
Wednesday. Judge and an ADA, people might misunderstand.
Worse yet, they might not.
An attorney uses sex to win a case.
Next time you want to play this game, you better be prepared to see it through.
Wednesday on Equal Justice.
We're back at the Miller Genuine Draft 200 with 24 miles to go in this run. One of the competitors here, rookie Scott Goodyear. He finished 10th at Phoenix, 10th at the Indianapolis 500, and he's running 10th right now. At age 9, his father encouraged this young Canadian to begin racing go-karts. He did it with great success, moved on to the Formula Fords and Formula Atlantic, and now chases his dream at the wheel of an IndyCar, running 10th here. Good run for Scott Goodyear in the McKenzie Financial Machine.
Well, many of the drivers have come up through Formula One, or excuse me, through go-karts, and I meant to say even the Formula One drivers, most of them, that's where they got their learning.
So if somebody came up to you and said, Bobby Unser, a little kid, I'd like to get started in racing, you'd tell them to go to a go-kart.
Go-karts. I just wished I'd have had them when I was young, Paul.
As we see a race that may be determined by fuel, Rick Mears there on the screen should know that driving with low fuel in a race isn't very different from driving with low fuel in a street car and no gas stations in sight. You know, you have that queasy feeling. You really wonder if you should start trying to go slower to conserve. What you really want to do is go faster and try to find a gas station, get it all over with.
Rick Mears being chased by his teammate Emerson Fittipaldi in what is developing as a fight for third place.
This race could be a sensational finish. Reminder of the long road course at Elkhart Lake last year and the problems that Michael Andretti had in the last lap. We hope that's not the case from his standpoint, but I guarantee everybody's hanging on to the edge of pit wall right now.
Well, Paul, what has happened with Michael Andretti is he's right back to qualifying speeds. Little Al had closed up from 16 seconds behind down to 7 seconds. So Michael has said, to heck with it, I'm going for the win, no matter if I do run out of fuel.
Driving for all he's worth with 8 miles to go. Here's Jackaroo.
Well, there's good news in the Rick Gallis pit for the Valvoline team. They've heard from their driver. He says fuel's okay according to the readout on the dash. So they're going for it now.
Ready. He's closed up just a little bit more, about another half second.
They're flat out. Little Al can't run any harder. Fuel has nothing to do with it. If it quits, it's just going to quit on him.
With 3 miles to go now, Fittipaldi also closes on Mears in that fight for 3rd place. They're racing all around this circuit. The leader now look back for Little Al as he continues to work his way through this field. He's dropped back a bit now, just over 5 seconds. Watching now from the Gallis pit.
You watch as you see little Shelley, Al's wife, and Tina Gallis. You can tell whether he's making mileage just by what they look like.
Michael Andretti works his way down on the inside. He was expecting to see the white flag coming off of this lap. But Michael Andretti rolls into the pits. We suspected there would be a problem with fuel. There definitely is. Michael Andretti slowly now through the pits. As Al Unser Jr. moves to the lead of the race, Michael Andretti rolls into the Newman Haas pits. There's Al Unser Jr. out in front, on board with Michael Andretti, on board now with Al Unser Jr. They try to refuel the car. They get it refueled. He rolls back out. But here comes Al Unser Jr. to win the race on the very last lap.
Well, Paul, that was a race of all times. Michael ran out just about like we figured could happen to one of them. We just didn't know which one.
And for Al Unser Jr., his first victory on an oval.
A historic moment, something he has been waiting for more than 20 years. His first win on an oval.
Al Unser Jr. on the last lap as Michael Andretti runs short on fuel. The Gallis team took the gamble many times before. They have misjudged. Today, they were dead on. And Al Unser Jr. now moves to the points lead solidly with 68 points in the PPG Championship over Emerson Fittipaldi with 56. Now, because the race started late, we are not going to be able to spend time with what will obviously be a very happy Al Unser Jr. But little Al has won on the mile at Milwaukee in the Miller Genuine Draft 200. Unofficially, Rick Mears, then Fittipaldi, Bobby Rahal, and Michael Andretti drop back into 5th place. So congratulations to little Al. Now, stay tuned for your local news and World News Sunday over most of these ABC stations.